Hello and welcome to the weekly outlook and briefing. There isn't a great deal out on the calendar next week, but what we've got is we've got quite a few technical setups. But we'll just quickly run through the calendar. On There's absolutely nothing coming out on Monday until the evening, where we've got FOMC member Lockhart speaks. Um, Not too sure what whether. Let's just check out, see if that's about monetary policy or not. He's speaking in the Public Pension Funding Forum, so he may not speak about monetary policy. But we'll just have to look out, see if he drops any hints there. New Zealand dollar at 4 a.m. We've got the inflation expectations quarter on quarter. I'm not particularly looking to trade New Zealand dollar at the moment. We've got it is quite high against the US at the moment. It could very well be the start of another push down if the New Zealand dollar expectations come in short lower than expected. There's no expectation out on the calendar at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on that and just see what happens. But I'll be trading it out of that data anyway. Euro info business climate is due out at 9 a.m. Not expecting that to affect the euro as much as people might think. What I am expecting the euro to do now is we've fulfilled a technical pattern where we had this up move, we had a 50% pullback, and then followed by next up move. And we actually drew this target and the retracement expected a few days before this happened, when it was still down at this price here. So we're just banging up on that price now at the 113.80, so it's going to be looking for a short literally when the market opens on Sunday evening. Going to be looking to short the euro. Now, because of the euro's situation, it's fairly closely linked to other currency pairs as well, one of which was the US dollar Swiss franc. Now, we had our analysis here on this one, which is fairly similar in comparison to what we expect to happen. We had the breakout of the channel. We reached the target of 9850, and we started to retrace as we expected it to happen. It's gone a little bit further than we expected, but we did say we'd wait to see candlestick reversal patterns at this price to get our confirmation that we were going to reverse, and we didn't get that. So we've held off on that at the moment. We're inside this area of confluence, and we're just coming down to touch on the 61%. So it could be that it's going to reverse from the 61% at 9,430. Okay, so again, we're going to be looking at that euro. If the euro starts to reverse, then we're going to expect this to start to reverse as well. So we'll be looking for that candlestick pattern there, then waiting for that to happen. So that's going to be our next currency, very closely linked to the euro. Now, obviously, if you get into one for the euro for a short and the US dollar for Swiss for a long, if they don't go our way, then obviously you're going to be quite exposed to that as well. So be aware of that. The other one that's very closely linked, which is also banging up a very solid support level now, is the German 30 or the DAX. It's just banging up on this 10,000 big psychological number. It's gone through that 50% pullback. We've got a 61% pullback there at 9895. But we have got this big psychological number. I would expect to see some profit taking at least, and for this to pull back. Now, generally, this works in negative correlation with the euro. The reason being is a cheaper euro boosts the stocks in the DAX because it gives them a better price for export. Okay, so that's the general rule with the DAX and the euro is they do work on a negative correlation. So if the euro starts to fall, if the bottom starts to fall out of the euro on Monday morning, then I would expect the DAX to rally as well. Okay, so later on we've got RBA Governor Stevens speaking on Wednesday. Again, not really expecting a great deal from that. The Aussie dollar has been starting to weaken off slightly. We had a target of 7.4 to enter for a sell last week. We didn't quite make that. It just skimmed across the bottom of that target, and it has been making new lows around about the 7.3 area. So although I'm still bearish on this, I am starting to lean more to the fact that the Aussie dollar is starting to be a bit more neutral. If Governor Stevens comes out with some fairly neutral comments or even positive comments on Wednesday, then we may see the Aussie dollar rally for a bit. But the overall problem that we've got going on with the Aussie at the moment is Chinese growth is very low. The Chinese economy is in a bit of dire straits, and they are actually expected to cut their triple R rate this weekend. So I'm going to be listening out to the news to see what the result of that is. If they cut their rates, then it could give a bit of a relief rally on the Aussie, but eventually it will come back down again. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if it pulls up and then starts to sell off again. So that's Governor Stephen Wednesday, not really looking to trade the Aussie, just being aware of what's going on and what's happening in China. We've then got the prelim GDP on the US dollar, which is expected to be stronger. So this could start to give us a little bit, and we have got the consumer confidence on Tuesday as well on the US dollar. That could expect it to come in better. This did get above 100 a couple of months ago, but then once it did, it had quite a big drop as I expected. But now we've had that big drop, we should start to see that rally, that data start to come in a little bit better, which could also give us a bit more of a catalyst on the euro to sell off as well. Okay, so we're really looking at all those interlinked currencies: the euro, US dollar, the US dollar Swiss, and the DAX next week. Okay, they're going to be the ones that we're going to be concentrating on. And I think we'll see, now we've had this big sentiment pull back on the euro, we can expect to see that sell off again. Now, there's two scenarios. Obviously, the sell-off could just be a continuation of the uptrend, and we may get a pullback to the 50%, which is the 11981 area. That's going to be our initial take profit area. But then if it continues through that, we'll lock it in at that point. And then if it continues through that, then we can expect it to retest the 10850 area back from early August time. Okay, that's pretty well much it for today. So hopefully you can make some pips from that data, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.